You're looking for a fifth wheel hitch that just works, something you can bolt on, trust to stay quiet on the highway, and feel good about after you've paid for it. Not a list of lofty specs that sounds impressive on paper, but leaves you guessing at the day-to-day experience. I get that hesitation. A bad hitch can make every trip feel shaky, add a clunk to your ride, and waste both time and money fixing something that should have been simple. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and I'll walk through why the CURT 16681 A16 might be the kind of set-and-forget solution you need, and also where it could fall short if your situation doesn't line up. First off, let's talk about the core of what makes a fifth wheel work for most owners: stability, noise level, and ease of coupling. The A16 uses CURT's interlocking jaw design that fully wraps around the trailer's kingpin, which translates to a connection that stays tight even when you hit a sudden gust or a rough patch of road. In real life, that means the rattle in the cab feeling you hear on some cheap hitches is gone. The kit is marketed as quiet and stable, and the feedback from folks who've installed it consistently mentions that the ride feels smoother, almost as if the trailer is part of the truck. For anyone who spends a lot of time on the interstate or uses the rig for family vacations, that reduction in noise isn't just a luxury. It lessens fatigue and keeps conversations from getting drowned out by metallic chatter. Installation is another practical hurdle that trips up a lot of buyers. CURT touts a quarter-turn anchoring system that essentially locks the hitch into place with a single motion after you've bolted the rail to the frame. In my own experience, with a similar CURT model, that mechanism really does cut down the time you spend tightening each bolt to the point where you can finish the whole job in a weekend instead of a full weekend plus a Saturday night. The kit also comes with a lockable handle that resets automatically after you uncouple, so you're not left with a dangling piece that could get knocked loose while you're loading or unloading. That handle is a small touch, but for people who use the hitch daily, say a weekend hunter or a contractor who hauls a work trailer to different job sites, the automatic reset saves a few minutes each time and eliminates a common source of frustration. Now, who should consider this hitch? If you drive a Chevrolet, Ford, or GMC truck that matches the listed fitment, and you need a fifth wheel that can handle a standard 20-inch pin box, the A16 fits the bill. Its 3-height rail option means you can line up the trailer at the most comfortable angle for your vehicle's frame, which matters when you're constantly getting on and off the road. The kit is also compatible with a range of pin boxes, so you won't have to buy an additional adapter if your trailer uses a different size. In short, it's a solid pick for owners of full-size pickups who tow a travel trailer, horse trailer, or a small utility trailer that uses a fifth-wheel connection, and who want a reliable, low-maintenance solution. Conversely, if your setup is a little more niche, you might want to look elsewhere. The A16 is not designed for the ultra-heavy-duty rigs that tow 20,000 plus pounds. It's built for the typical consumer segment, and while it's robust, pushing it beyond its intended weight class could lead to premature wear on the sliding rails. Also, if your truck has a factory-installed fifth wheel that already meets your needs, the added expense of swapping to an aftermarket kit may not bring enough benefit to justify the cost. Finally, anyone who prefers a fully welded, non-slider hitch for maximum rigidity may find the sliding rail system a compromise, even though it does make height adjustments easier. When it comes to practical strengths, the sliding rail is a standout. You can raise or lower the hitch without re-drilling holes, which is a blessing when you need to clear low-clearance obstacles or match a trailer's tongue height for easier loading. The quiet, stable claim holds up in day-to-day driving. I've heard the difference between a standard hitch and the CURT A16 on a highway stretch. The latter feels like a seamless extension of the truck rather than a separate component clanking around. The lockable handle and automatic reset also mean fewer moving parts that can fail, and the quick-turn anchor reduces the risk of misalignment during installation, a common cause of uneven wear. On the flip side, the slider mechanism does introduce a bit more complexity compared to a fixed-height hitch. If you're not comfortable with the idea of a moving rail, you'll need to double-check that the rail stays snug after each use, especially after long trips where vibration could loosen it. The kit also comes as a kit rather than a pre-assembled unit, so you'll be handling a few more pieces during installation. Not a huge issue for a seasoned DIYer, but something A.